everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you a very easy flat brush style floral arrangement on this crackled green gloss bottle. I did a video yesterday where I showed you how I did the crackling of, I believe it's a sapphire bottle, but I did this one at the same time in the green. It's basically frost glass. I did the crackling with the crackle medium, and then I went over it with the frost glass paint, but I'd use the home decor crackle. And I'll link below some products that you can use that have affiliate links if you want to purchase through them. This particular bottle has a design on the sides, so I'm just going to focus as much as I can on the design on the front of the bottle. I am going to be using two A-Magic flat brushes, a 10 and an 8, and then a number 8 Deerfoot stippler, and a dotting stylus. You can use anything to make dots with. If you don't have stylus, that's fine. Excuse me. Alright, I'll be using FolkArt paints. I'm using titanium white, forest moss, burnt sienna, hydrangea, and cerulean blue. Alright, so basically to start this video off, I am going to show you just a quick design that I'm going to do with the flat brush. I'll be using the number 10, and I'm going to start with dipping my brush into the blue, do a side, a little bit of that with the white, but I'm not really going to try to do like a one-stroke loading. I'm just randomly putting the paints into the brush as I go. So I'm going to begin up here at the top, and you can make little V's if you want, just to give yourself an idea where you want the shape of the petal to fall into. Now keep in mind when you're doing this, because you're doing it over the crackled medium, it is going to crackle what you're putting on here right now. Just so you know, it will crackle this too, even though it's been a day or two. And you have to be careful too when you're doing this so that you don't pull up the paint from underneath. So I'm going to do another V, and I'm going to just do just quick little strokes, and I didn't do that on this one, but the edges can be just really kind of random, jagged. I don't really want to have them be real straight, if that makes sense. So I'm just doing light little strokes over it, not anything hard because I don't want to pull up the paint from underneath. But I do want a little bit of white on it, and you could even touch into the other blue if you wanted, but I'm not going to do that on this one. I think we're going to come over this direction to put another V, and then I'm just going to come out here from that, pull it in, and just kind of want to pull it down a little bit here, so I'll do that on this stroke that I've already put on here. Pull it towards the center because I'm just going to have it as a partial. So it's not going to be a full flower on some of these. So I'm just pulling it towards the center just lightly again. Keep that in mind. Alright, so then underneath I'm going to do another one down this way that's going to be a partial. I'm going to turn my bottle. And once again, do my little V's. I can actually do them right next to each other if I want, and then this just gives me the idea of how to create the petal itself. So I'm not making it too big, and then I'm coming into it with a, ending up where I want it to end up here. Kind of turning my brush on the side a little bit to get the desired ruffled edges. And I can make them thicker or thinner. Doesn't really matter. They don't have to be a specific shape. And I apologize, my furnace is starting to come on here. I do my videos down in my basement where my furnace is, so that's kind of hard to avoid it. Alright, see that? Alright, so then I'm going to come down and do, well actually I'm going to do it up here, do more of a full open, and I'm putting my little V's in here just to once again determine where my strokes are going to go. And I want to do two bigger ones, and again these are going to be a little bit different from my paper because I always do my designs on paper before I put them on my item that I'm painting. But I don't have as much space, so that's going to be why it's going to be different, but that's okay. And the purpose of my channel, just so that you know if you're new here, is to create designs that are easy for anybody that's new to painting to be able to paint and have something that's a, you know, a fun hobby, but also something that'll give you a way to relax and be creative at the same time. And I have, I'm going to put this in here because I want to try to do 5 petals. And it's okay if you overlap, you know, from one flower to the next, or you overlap your petals on your actual design. That's perfectly fine too. Again, I'm just doing light strokes because I don't want to pull, oops, sorry, I don't want to pull the paint up. Now I come in here with my last petal. While I'm painting this, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask me those below the video. I do have things listed below, other videos that I've created, so feel free to stick around and watch those too. You're more than welcome. And see, I'm already starting to get crackles in my paint, which is good. Alright, I'm just going to kind of wipe that off a little bit, and then I'm going to move over into my cerulean blue and start doing the same thing. Do my little V's. Just gotta try to keep them. Okay, so like I said, if you want to do it like this and come up and just do a semblance of where your shape is going to end up, that's fine. Again, we want the edges to be a little wiggly. I don't want them smooth when I'm ruffly. Now I'm going to come back over this with some white. This isn't the, I'm just trying to get the design of the petals in first. If you want to separate them some, you can. Okay, this one is going to end up with, doesn't matter, you can do 5 or you can do 5 or 6 petals, doesn't matter. This one I do believe I can make this one a little bit bigger. Actually, you can go in here like this side, just end up with the 5. It's fine. Then I'm going to pick up some white, come in here with the white. Once again, I just need to be really careful because I don't want to pull up the paint. So what I'm basically saying is I don't want to overwork it too much. But when you put in another shade or another color with this, it just makes it wake up a little bit, as you can see. Again, just very simple. Just look how easy. And I'll tell you, doing this, it's such a great way to add some interest to your home decor. You've already paid for the wine bottle, or it's not, this one isn't a wine bottle, but if you're drinking alcohol, or just a perfect way to trash the treasure. Perfect, 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 perfect way. The main thing is I always have to try to remind myself to keep from, I'm trying to go this way, keep from tapping my bottle onto my workstation here. Alright, then I'm going to go down, do another one. Okay, so I've gone ahead, I got the other ones painted in, and what I'm going to do now is take my Deerfoot stippler, and I'm going to just stick it into the burnt sienna. If I can get some more here on my plate. Stick that into my burnt sienna fully. I'm not adding any other color with it. I'm just going to do that. If you wanted just to paint the entire center blue, one of the blues, whatever blue you're using at the time, you could do that too with this, but I decided to go ahead and tap in another color just so that it would stand out a little bit better. As I think it looks better with that. And I'm going to go ahead and tap in a little center on these partials. Also. And then what I'm going to do is take my moss green, forest moss. I always say the wrong thing, but forest moss. Put a little bit of the burnt sienna in, and it doesn't have to be a particular shade. I'm just doing whatever I get. And if it's too brown, then I can come back in with some more of the forest moss and lighten it up. Alright, so basically what I'm doing on this, and I just want to make sure I have a crisp edge, is I'm going to come in and start doing my little stems. So again, it's just going to be very simple. Coming down like that. And I'm going to come through here, attach it. It's attached over this way, and they're not going to be real obvious because of the colors. So, I mean, you can always do it in a different shade, but I really like this shade of green, so I'm going to stick with it. But I'm basically going to come up here and do a petal like this. And I'm not going to add a ton of leaves. I'm just going to do a little bit here and there, and leave it like that, because this design is not meant to be full of leaves. And when I sell this, I will be placing lights on the inside of it. That's one reason why I thought doing the crackle design with the frost paint would be a good combination, because it's light, so it's not a background that's going to be covering it up, so you'll be able to see it. So that's good. And It's just very simple. Now you can find yourself painting over these words. I mean, that's fine, and I probably will, because for the purpose of this video, I'm just doing the front. But I would paint it all the way around and put the lights in it. Okay, so I'm just going to go back through and just do little stems. They're not real obvious, but just fine. That's good. And we're almost done. I just have one other thing to show you once I get through this. Again, with these, just putting a little stem in here. If you want to do the stem a different color, you could do that too. The last thing I'm going to do is tip into my white and go around the centers. And I can just go into it through the lid. But then I'm just going to go, I just want a lot of dots around the centers. And I want them just real random. I don't want them just around the edge. They can be a little bit out into the flower. They can be a little bit in towards the center. But this just makes it a fun little design. And it's real random. You can make your dots bigger, smaller, doesn't matter. Like I said, we're almost finished. All right, and then there you go. They're all dotted in, makes that center stand out. You could even put a different dot in the center with a different color, maybe even if you wanted to do that. But very easy. Look how pretty that is. Very simple. Anyone can do it. If you can hold a paintbrush, you can paint my designs. All right, I hope you like this video. If you do, please give me a big thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. And prior to leaving the video, if you would share this video on your social network with all your family and friends, just hit that share button underneath the video and you'll be directed on the options that you have where to share it. Pretty easy. All right, until the next time, I do appreciate you stopping by. Stick around and watch some of my other videos if you have time. And until the next time, stay safe and healthy and have a good one.